they're going to do anything they can to control our lives. So here's what they're going to do. This is going to be the year we believe that we're going to start seeing going from dirty cash to digital trash. They're going to make up something new. And that's the way they're going to get out of this thing. And we're doing this to protect you so we can know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on, so we can get the tax money because we're politicians and we don't work a day in our lives and we need your money. That's where this thing is going. And I say to people, if you're keeping money in the bank, why are you keeping it there? You know, I was always like, because Bitcoin was the one. And again, it's that generation's currency. It's going to be tough. I think there'll be a place for Bitcoin. And if we don't have a new way, it's over. And that's my vision for 2023. Hey, I'm very concerned about the future. I've been at this since 1980. And I've never seen a decline that we're looking at now. You know, one of the trends that we're forecasting, you go back to our Trends Journal magazine on February 22nd, 2022, 2 days before the Ukraine war started. And the magazine headline read, "From COVID war to Ukraine war to World War." World War III's begun. The United States has sent in over $100 billion of aid and weapons to Ukraine since this broke out. This is a country, the United States, where 63% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. And they just sent over $100 billion over there. This is a country where they just passed a defense budget of about $860 billion. Prime Minister of Sweden and the President of France, Macron, met earlier this week. And they say, quote, "The two leaders reaffirmed Europe's determination to support Ukraine in the 10th month of the Russian offensive." Quote, "The Ukrainians need our support more than ever," said Macron. Quote, "The victory of Ukraine is existential for Europe and for the whole world," said the Swedish Prime Minister. Wait a minute. You mean what's going on between Russia and Ukraine is existential for the whole world? You mean the people down in Bolivia, Argentina, Ghana, Somalia? I mean, what are we talking about over here? They're ramping this thing up into World War III. Mm-hmm. It's begun. And there's going to be a false flag or a nuclear exchange. NATO chief says sending more weapons to Ukraine, you can't make this up, is the quickest path to peace. So this is serious what's going on. And that's my greatest concern. Because there are a lot of positive trends out there that are going to escalate society. But if this war keeps ramping up, it's the beginning of the end. Now let's go to the COVID war. They locked down the world. And we're talking about why China's in so much trouble with their zero COVID policy. The businesses that they've destroyed in China and around the world are incalculable. Oh, you're talking about Italy? Now they're talking about Italy, and I think it was the IMF or one of them just came out, that they're facing the worst financial crisis of all of them concerning their debt level. Yeah. And look at what's happened to the businesses. Now they're saying inflation will get better because it was only caused by the supply chain disruptions, right, not our cheap money and our zero interest rate policy. You see where this is going? So here's the deal. If the Federal Reserve raises interest rates in February 1st, even 25 basis points, it's going to keep pushing the markets down. I called it wrong in 2012. I thought the economy was going to crash in 2012. They invented a thing called quantitative easing. They didn't teach us that in Economics 101 at graduate school, nor did they teach us about zero and negative interest rate policy. They could come up with anything. So they're going to make up anything they want. They're the money people are in charge. They're going to do anything they can to control our lives. Look what's going on with the interest rates, right? What's the inflation rate? Oh, it hit 10.7%. You're still deep in negative territory. So in the United States, what do you have? You have inflation rate at 7.1, and you have a 4.5, 5. You're still in negative territory. So here's what they're going to do. This is going to be the year we believe that we're going to start seeing going from dirty cash to digital trash. They're going to make up something new. And that's the way they're going to get out of this thing. Look at the United States. Just passed a $1.7 trillion budget when you have a $30.1 trillion deficit? They're going to make something up. Here, the Russians just hacked our banking system. You can't get your money out. But don't worry about it. We're coming up with a new currency. They'll make up anything. And I believe this is going to be the year where there's going to be a big push toward a digital currency. So and that's the way the Fed's going to get us. That's the way we see it happening. And it's going to go like that, like that, like that. And we're doing this to protect you so we can know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on, so we can get the tax money because we're politicians and we don't work a day in our lives and we need your money and all the little clowns that we call public servants that work for us, that do what we tell them to do, so we can keep them paid, so we get all your money. That's where this thing is going. And I say to people, if you're keeping money in the bank, why are you keeping it there? What they know is how they're going to rig it. And we don't know when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. But again, as I was saying, why would you keep your money in a bank when they're not paying you anything and they're making money on your money? To us, gold is the number one safe haven asset. When gold went down into the 1600s a few months ago, we said this is the bottom. It's going up from now. And now it's been hitting, several month highs. Again, when they go digital, gold is going to go through the roof because that's going to be the only real currency that's going to be accepted to pay, to transfer, because they're going to do away with all the paper money. Again, the whole world has gone AI. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world. And so what we're saying is to protect yourself. So what I'm saying, the whole world is going AI. Yeah. The younger generations are going to accept it like that. The digital currencies. That's perfect for me. It's perfect for you. And China's going to lead the way in it. And they are leading the way. I was always like, because Bitcoin was the one. And again, it's that generation's currency. It's going to be tough. I think there'll be a place of Bitcoin, and very interesting with Bitcoin, even though it's way down from when it was 60,000, it's still at 16,000. And when you go back, 11 years ago, it started at zero. And it's been in the $16,000 range now for months. It hasn't gone down from there. The only thing that I think it's going to stop it is when they come out with digital. And this is what we said going back to 2020, when our magazine cover was from dirty cash to digital trash. When the governments when they go fully digital, they're not going to want any competition. And they're going to make it very hard for it. That's the only way we see it going down. But we still see Bitcoin, as all the cryptocurrencies, as the one that's going to stabilize until they do that and it becomes the real deal. And it's going to take a few years for that to happen. It's going to start gradually, and then all of a sudden it'll end and we'll all be digital. Yeah, they have to. But where's the competition to the dollar? That's the whole issue. And when you look at the yuan, what does it account for? Like 3 or 4% of the whole situation in trading. And the euro,
Right.
where's the euro going to? There's no competition for the dollar. Even though the dollar should be in the toilet, you call this a democracy. What am I, 6 years old? We're bringing freedom and democracy around the world. And if you don't have a lot of money, you can't run for crap anywhere in this country.
Yeah.
No, it's the Supreme Court ruling that made that legal. This was back in 2010. No, the whole game is rigged, like I said. People call it a government. I call it a crime syndicate. They're murderers and thieves. How many more wars do they have to start in the name of bringing freedom and democracy? And how much more of our money do they have to steal in the name of too big to fail? If we don't have a new way, it's over. And that's my vision for 2023.